video. I look like I have hair things. Admit all. All right.
Not a bad look for you.
Thank you. Okay. Hi, welcome, Dee and Kara. I look like I have hair things. Admit all. Oh, I need to.
Not a bad look for you. Yeah, you might want to use the playback.
There we go. Okay. We're good. Good. Okay. Hi, everybody. Hold that thought. I'm multitasking at the moment, and my daughter needs me to mom. So, un momentito.
Meanwhile, you're left with me, Kara. Hello. Welcome again, and thank you so much for joining us on this Ask Us Anything About the 48. If you're currently part of a team, let us know, or if you're not, awesome. You can absolutely update your name to include the name of your team if you're currently part of a registered team. So share that out.
Okay. We've got Gary joining us as well.
Hi, Gary.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for joining us. And Dee, I want to thank you especially for joining us early. We were doing a little, we were having a quick meeting, and so I appreciate your patience.
And Dee, welcome. We're happy to have first timers here. Thank you for finding us on Facebook. Have you ever done a 48-hour film project before?
No, actually, I am not familiar with such projects. I would like to hear more about the project.
Okay.
I just saw there's an online event happening in like 15 minutes, so I registered. I'm interested in the film making industry, so
terrific.
Yeah, I'm in Austin too, so yeah.
And while I'm at it, I'm going to answer your question, or I'm going to tell you more about it in a moment, but I just remembered I need to post this to our
Sure.
Facebook page while I'm thinking about it. And oh, come on, Facebook. There we go. Load them up. So, okay.
Chopper. So glad to see you.
There we go. Boom. Okay, so the 48-hour film project is a timed filmmaking competition. You have 48 hours to write, film, edit, and score a 4 to 7 minute short film. You don't have to do it alone. We do have some people who do it. We are in awe of them, and their wonderful creative insanity. But no, mostly we're in awe. But you don't have to do it alone. You can recruit a team. You can get on a team. Our 48-hour film project discussion group on Facebook is probably the best way to meet people to get on a team. We have some other options as well, but that seems to be the one that's just the easiest for everybody. So what happens is on Friday night, we go over the rules, and then all the teams will draw a random pair of genres from a hat or some other creative means. The last couple of years, we've been doing this all virtually, so we've had to come up with some fun ways of pulling the genres. Then at the very last minute, we announce 3 elements. We announce a line of dialogue, a character name and description. You get both a male and female character or a unisex name, and a description like an expectant parent or an explorer or something like that. And then you get a prop. I did say line of dialogue, right, Kara?
You did.
I did. Okay. So you get a prop. So examples of props in the past were a bucket or fingernail snips or hand sanitizer. and there's a lot you can do with the prop where as long as we see it and we go, oh yeah, that's the prop, you can get as creative as you want. You can get pretty creative with the character too, as long as it's obvious that, hey, that's the character. They used to have a rule that the character had to be an actual person in the film. They changed it to, it can be a picture of a person, but it can't just be like a voice on the phone. So we have to see some representation of the character. The line of dialogue is where things get really strict. It has to be verbatim. It can be split up and have one person say the first half and one person say the second half, but it can't be, you can't put anything in between. So.
And it has to be, they do not allow for accents. We got one pass one time and that was it.
They will let us, if there's like a contraction, they will usually include it. So it's like, it is time to do whatever, or it's time to do whatever. They will include that.
However,
the one year that they nearly got us was the line was, where did you put it? And I didn't even think of it until after I'm reviewing the shows and I'm going, oh crap, this is Texas.
everybody said, where'd ya?
Where'd ya? Where'd you put it? So I had to call HQ and go, y'all know this is Texas, right? I need some help because everybody's going to be disqualified. So they let that pass. So I see you already have 10 questions. Feel free to ask.
All right, thank you. Okay, thank you. So how about I tell you about myself? And I don't know, were you talking about accents, right?
Yeah,
because
like
I'm not
Texas accent.
American. Yeah, because this is the thing. English is not my first language, as you can hear. I think a little bit from my accent. I'm bilingual. I speak my native language is Arabic. English, I speak good English, but sometimes I do have this accent that you can hear right now.
I think more specifically, it's not so much accents that are the problem, it's slang. So
Right.
Texas slang, it turned "where did you" into "where'd ya." So
right.
Otherwise, accents, we try to keep in mind what somebody's accent is. If their pronunciation is a little different,
Right.
we don't get.
Yeah. But I've been here since only 6 months. So I don't know if there's,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So I don't know if there's a room for me. As I told you, thank you. I'm interested in filmmaking. I do have experience in video editing. I am a graphic designer and I do some videos on TikTok. I'm planning to do my own YouTube channel soon. So I don't know, like I took a course in screenwriting, like a mini course in screenwriting. So I don't know, like I love the idea because it helps procrastinators. Such as me, because we have only, as you said, 48 hours. So this is amazing. So I don't know like if there's a room for me. I have a lot of questions because I just joined. Sorry about that. But yeah,
Well,
I'm interested.
All right. And I can assure you there is always room for everybody. We had someone comment this afternoon about how we are the housewives baking competition of film festivals. And I'm like,
yeah,
you say that like it's a bad thing. Why shouldn't housewives have a chance to make their voices heard?
Yeah. Well,
everybody needs to have a chance. And that's the thing we love the most about the 48 is it gives everybody a chance to have their story told, their voices heard. We've had middle schoolers run teams. We've had, this was before I started, but I'd heard a story about how the project was featured in the Austin American Statesman on the Friday that they were kicking off, and it was right after school had let out. So a bunch of teachers were like, okay, what are we going to do for the summer? Oh, hey, let's do this. They had no experience. They'd never done anything like this before. And they just decided to join up at the kickoff on a whim and had a great time. So, and in the end, having a great time and challenging yourself and finding out what you can do and
Sure.
what you can't do now, but you can work on doing later, that sort of thing. That's what's the most important about this project. It's not about winning.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested.
Very.
As I mentioned, it's good. Like, it's combining one of the things. I'm actually, since I came here, I was looking to taking a course in the film industry, or I love short movies also. So but I'm just postponing things, and yeah, this is cool. I really love the idea. It's amazing.
I can tell you, ACC has got a great film program, RTF program.
Mhm.
And you can also look into Austin Public. They have some great film classes there as well.
Oh, Austin School of Film as well.
And
They're
Austin
really
School of
great.
Film.
I
Yes.
went to Austin School of Film. I went there. They told me they're opening a class soon, but they didn't send me anything, so I forgot. And yeah, and I got busy. So
Things have been kind of
now,
crazy with the pandemic. You never
yeah,
know, so
yeah,
many
yeah,
things have been canceled at the last minute.
yeah.
And
I know. I understand. Yeah.
we were really hoping to be back at live events by now. I've got my eye on Dirty Martin's Comeback Place as the first location of as the location of our first live event. And I was really hoping it was going to be in January, and then Omicron. So, hopefully soon, hopefully we will be back in at least stage 3 by the time things really get going. I'm ready to be done with it.
So
Yeah.
are you going to host an event this Friday?
Not this Friday.
Oh, okay.
The next event will probably be in February.
Mhm.
Like I said, I'm hoping it can be live, but we have to get down to at least,
Stage 3.
I'd say stage 3. Yeah, we've got to get down to stage 3 because even stage 4 is a little too iffy.
Mhm.
So,
Oh,
We got to be safety first. That's what
Yeah.
matters. Our filmmakers are what makes us in our community, and we could never forgive ourselves if something we did got somebody sick. I mean, Chopper can tell you, he's been with us for a while.
Oh yeah.
Um,
And I
Yes,
have
that is correct.
all right.
nice to
Thank you
have it
for this
reaffirmed, not
information.
just blowing smoke up somebody's. But yeah.
I think he's the chairman, right? He just said that's correct, and that's it. That was
He's
like, okay.
been a participant for as long as I've been involved, and
Okay.
we've always, speaking for me, we've always appreciated all of what you bring to the 48 every time. So thank you for your participation and everything.
Always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you nearly scared me on when you did your questions. You're like, "Oh, I'm giving up filmmaking." I'm like, Chopper, don't scare me like that.
It's not here.
Okay, my brain just went off.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I mean, it's going to be very challenging. But the thing is, you put yourself out there, and you get your team together, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be it's going to be very challenging, but the end result is going to be worthwhile. But it will be challenging. But you have a bunch of, the producers here have always been very supportive of the event, and during the event they're always available to take your answers. So if at any time you have any questions, they're always available to get those questions answered. So they're awesome.
Thank you.
What other questions does anybody have?
Just checking to see if there are any questions in the YouTube, but there isn't so far. So
But I can shower you with questions, but I don't want to take anybody's turn.
feel free. That's what this is all about, is asking questions. So
All right.
I can tell you that we definitely have dates set for our screenings.
Right.
And we do have an in-person screenings scheduled at Austin Film AFS Cinema. That's the name. AFS Cinema. At this time, we're going forward as if it's going to be, full capacity and everything's back to normal. So we're crossing our fingers and hoping for that. Yeah, that's basically all we've got so far. So,
So, are you guys like, do you have your own academy, training academy, or?
actually, kind
The
of.
48 is kind of its own training academy kind of sprint course.
And we do have a longtime participant named David Avila, who has a website. I want to make sure that I get this right. I believe it is the 48. Okay, come on. 48-hour filmmaker. Let me share. Well, here's his Facebook. If nothing else, I will put that in the chat. Yeah, his business is called 48-hour filmmaker. And let's see. Yeah, that's also his website, 48-hour filmmaker. Which apparently is not loading right now, but you can get a hold of him on Facebook. So, and yeah, he has video tutorials, and we'll probably be asking him to do another workshop on his secret sauce. He has done like 30 something of these, maybe up as many as 40 now, because he participates not only in the Austin 48s, and we have 2 of those a year. He also participates in San Antonio and sometimes in LA and in the 4 Points Project.
All right.
Online.
So how can I know about the if there's going to be any event? Are you going to send like any message, or should we keep our eyes on the events, like for the
first place I put an event notice is on Facebook, and then I will add it to our website as soon as I have all the details, because I can usually make an event on Facebook that's kind of a save the date without putting too many details in there. So yeah, Facebook is going to be the first place that you'll see them, and then the website is where they will go when they're officially fleshed out. And I try to announce them on Twitter as well. I have to be very careful about announcing them on Twitter, because the last time I announced a Zoom meeting on Twitter, we got flooded, and it was not appropriate content that we got flooded with. So I learned never publicly advertise a Zoom on Twitter.
You can advertise it, you just can't put the link there, darling.
I can't put the link in it. Yeah. So I basically, what I do is I say, okay, we've got an event coming up, see our website. So we also have a TikTok, we have a LinkedIn, we have an Instagram.
TikTok.
Oh, thank you, Chopper. Chopper posts a great YouTube link for you.
Excellent. Yes, that's David Vox.
That's David's YouTube.
Yeah.
So you can look at some of the examples that he's done in the past to give you an idea.
So, okay, so what about the tools? Okay, I feel actually pampered because like I'm asking all the questions, 3 people are answering me. Thank you guys. So what about the tools to be used during the filmmaking process?
Well, whatever you want to use. We've had people use nothing but their cell phones.
Yeah, I have a cell phone. I have my gimbal, which I got recently that I'm still learning to use. So yeah.
Yeah, great.
There's a real famous film that won a bunch of awards. I think it was called Tangerine. It was all filmed on the iPhone, and it won a bunch of it was like, I think it was the Sundance Festival or something like that. It won a whole bunch of awards, like high level awards, and all they used was an iPhone. So whatever you have, use it and make a good story with some good angles, and you got it. Good sound.
Yes, sound is very important.
I bought a microphone, and I have my gimbal. Yeah, I think I'm half prepared.
Yeah, you got it.
It's all in how you use the tools that you have.
Yeah, exactly. As I told you, I have a TikTok. I have like a
use it and make a good story.
Victoria, I think you need to mute something.
Good sound.
Welcome, though. Very important.
I bought a.
There we go.
Okay, I'll text you guys if I can my TikTok. I do
Yeah.
comedy content on TikTok. I have around 60,000 followers, but I do my videos in Arabic and English, mostly in
Awesome.
Arabic. But yeah, and I'm working now on my YouTube channel. I'm preparing for my YouTube channel. I don't know if like during the process I can film the whole process for my YouTube content. You know, just like that would be a good video, like making a movie in 48 hours.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
mind sharing your TikTok handle? If not, if you don't want to
Yeah.
share it publicly, you can post it in the chat.
I just posted it in the chat, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
TikTok. Oh no, okay. Okay, that was directly. How can I chat to everyone?
There's
Send to-
if you go
everyone. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
there you go.
TikTok. It's the passionista and not fashionista. Passion.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and my name is Diana.
Hey guys, sorry about the audio. I had a couple windows open and I couldn't find the one that was giving me the feedback. So now
I hate when that happens.
here and hi and great hair, Eileen, and
Thank you.
yay.
So D is, let's see if it will show, it won't. Does that look like you?
No one can see, dear.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Does that look like you?
Oh, that's me. Yes. Oh, sorry, I was muted.
No, quite all right. All right, I'm following you now as the 48. So cool. I'm gonna have to check those out.
Yeah.
This is exciting. So are you a member of the Facebook group, the 48 Facebook group?
Me, no, as I told you, I was just looking for an online meeting, meetup to like event to join.
Mhm.
And yeah, I just found this. It was like 15 minutes. I'm like, okay, I tried to read, but I didn't have time. But
No, I
I'm gonna
understand.
go through everything you sent right now. Yeah, of course.
Okay, I just sent the link to the group. Now, are you local to Austin, or not a problem if you're not?
I'm in Austin. Yeah.
You are in Austin. Okay.
Yes, I'm in Austin.
Excellent. Because we've got projects in 150 cities around the world, but over the last 2 years being virtual, we've just been taking people from wherever they wanted
Right.
to go. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, we're happy to have you in Austin. So.
Thank you.
Oh, so Victoria's just joined us, and I didn't get a chance to properly introduce Chopper. Chopper is the team lead for CM9 Films, and Victoria is the long-term member of Team El Guapo.
Amongst other teams, she has branched out.
Hi,
And Gary, have you been on a team before?
I have not.
Okay, well, welcome. Glad to have you. Are you local here to Austin?
Yes, I am.
Okay, terrific. What's your interest in the 48?
I think we
I
scared
had
them
some
off.
interest in some challenges that would be involved in shooting something that fast. So
Terrific.
yeah.
All right. Well, if you have any questions for us, by all means, feel free.
I can say, I'll say a couple of words about the challenges of filming something that fast. Assume you're not going to get a whole lot of sleep. Just assume that. Cat naps are good if you can snag them. And it's going to take longer than you think. So add even more time to do what you think you need to do, but you have to still do it in 48 hours.
Which is why we don't recommend trying to do it alone. We highly recommend doing it on a team, but we are in awe of those who do it alone.
And you don't want to be trying to learn new software at the same time.
Thank you for
Sorry.
the tips. Any hacks?
Any hacks?
Yeah, I'm telling her thank you
recommend-
for the tips.
I recommend the 5-2-1 rule. Try and get a minimum of 5 hours of sleep a night, 2 hot meals a day. And the fact that they're a hot meal versus cold does make a difference. And 1 shower a day. especially if you're filming with other people, because they will still be your friends after that.
Mhm.
Right. Right.
We call these the con rules. Tara and I have both worked fandom cons in the past, and
Conventions,
it's-
festivals, it just works for everything.
yeah, it's important. So
Mhm.
at least aim for that.
And if you aren't sure if you need a release, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please, for the
Yes,
love of God, don't
yes.
forget paperwork.
Get it
Everybody.
in writing.
Everybody has to sign a performer release. If you have the SAG after people have to do it for free, but there's additional paperwork for them. There's paperwork for music. There's paperwork for the venue. There's paperwork for everything.
But we provide the paperwork. We
Yes,
provide
they
links to
provide the paperwork, but it does have to be done and it does have to be turned in on time. And from my experience as a 48-hour paperwork queen, oh my God. There are some things that the team lead has to do because they have to be done online, but the physical paperwork can be printed out and signed and then scanned in, or I think there may be other options now, but everyone involved needs to have paperwork, and having somebody who can follow through to make sure all of the paperwork is done is really helpful.
Yes.
Does it have to be your paperwork? Because I have paperwork already, but that's releasing to me and my company.
Well,
Yeah,
you
we have
can submit it,
proprietary-
but if it's not the 48 paperwork, it does us no good. So
Right.
That's all I need to know.
You might want to have your paperwork for your, for your purposes. You might want to have people sign for your purposes, but then they'd also have to be signed for ours. And that basically just covers everybody. It covers usage. It covers, all of it. It's the CYA.
Yeah, all of the documents are online, so you can download everything, either individual documents or the whole package. So just do that, like I said, like maybe a couple of days before, or even like a week before the event. So that way you have all your paperwork. And it's always, like they were saying before, it's good to have someone dedicated to doing that to make sure it all gets done, because it's overwhelming if you're trying to do all that last minute and trying to get all that submitted. On top of that, trying to do an edit and making all those changes. So so it's best to have someone dedicated to that, because there's also at the end you have to fill out an online survey to kind of how things went, what didn't work, whatever. So but you have the opportunity to download all the documents and then get them all kind of filled out with the with your name, the team name, and then have people sign and then date them. And then so but yeah, it is very critical to get all that done, because that can be kind of a nightmare.
and the great
Last
news is
time
it can be submitted virtually. And I'm sorry, Gary, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Last time I had to have a bunch of people sign releases, I did it all through Adobe. I think it's called their document cloud or something. That was really convenient, because it basically just emails it to them, and then they just do it from whatever device they use. But not everybody has Creative Cloud, so
Yeah. I think
it's not really open to just anybody.
I think they now have it so that it's all, you can fill it out all online. They did that during the pandemic, and they've got it so you can upload it online. So we used to have an in-person drop-off where you had to bring all of your documents and your film, etc., to a specific location. This year, if we're back in live events, we're probably going to have a drop-off somewhere for fun. And in case somebody's, computer goes down or something at the wrong moment. But I think we're keeping the online drop-off format going forward, because it's so much easier. People are not, we don't have tired people driving. Our last drop-off, we had somebody hit a deer on the way. So, it's safer overall for everybody if we continue the online drop off. And but if people want to come by afterwards and hang out, network, blow off some steam, etc., then we, COVID willing, we will have that available. So
Well, most smartphones do a pretty good job of scanning. So even if they have to use printed documents, they should be able to easily scan them into a
Right.
PDF on their phone. I know the Apple Notes app, I believe, has that functionality, and I use one called Scanner Pro, an app that basically turns your phone to a scanner. You just point the camera at it.
Right.
and it does a really good job of scanning documents for upload.
Um,
Yeah,
and
Go ahead.
there will be people you run into occasionally who don't use devices for things. And because everything can be fluid, you may have turnover in your cast or crew or both day of your shoot. And so you may be scrambling to find people to fill in. So they may not have gotten paperwork in advance because, oh, your secondary actor came down with COVID and can't be there. And so you're like calling all your friends to see who is available to fill in. And so they'll need to fill out paperwork. And so there's that. There's the flexibility of what happens the day of filming, and other things and sometimes having paper copies is really helpful. And thank goodness for the electronic submissions, because while there's nothing like the adrenaline rush of driving up to the drop-off location while your director jumps out of the car with paperwork to get to the table before 7 o'clock or 7:30. There's nothing like that adrenaline rush. It does give you upwards of an extra hour to deal with rendering and God knows what other issue happens in the so it gives you a little extra time with that. So okay.
I would warn that if once you register, read the emails. If there's anything that says, hey, do this before, do it. There are steps for registering on the Cinema 48, which is our current drop-off, virtual drop-off. I think they're working on incorporating that into the main 48 website, but I don't know how soon that will be. We have a wonderful web guru by the name of Wouter. He is in the Netherlands. The man never sleeps. And we are in awe of him because he has worked some magic over the last couple of years. And
I think he's something greater than human, because he really doesn't sleep, and his abilities with technology border on the supernatural.
I will
He's a
send him
cryptid, I'm convinced.
Yeah, I will send him a question at what is like 3 o'clock in the morning over there. I'll send him a question on Facebook Messenger, not expecting an answer right away. And the next thing I know, he's answering. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing awake? He's like, well, I'm just now having dinner. And I'll say, yeah, well, I was just waking up for breakfast. He's like, yeah, this is my breakfast too. So, okay, dude, you're amazing. And please take care of yourself. But anyway, so yeah, I know he's working on trying to incorporate it into the website as soon as possible. But for now, it's a separate registration to get that all started. And you have to upload your team lead agreement before the kickoff. And, there are just a few little steps that you have to take to take advantage of the online drop-off. And so that's one thing I would recommend is definitely you get an email from the 48, read it, make sure you understand it. Contact us if you have any questions, and we'll be happy to walk you through it. Just please try to contact us before an event, like at least an hour before an event, preferably a day. Because usually once the event starts, we've got our hands full. The other thing
that does not include the drop off, because we will take phone calls during the drop off.
We will take phone calls during the drop off, yes. But usually most of the stuff needs to be done before the drop off. And in order to make sure that your drop off goes smoothly, there are certain steps you have to take. And so that's all I'm saying is be aware of those steps. And if you have any questions, let us know. I would also recommend there's two things that can be done before the filmmaking weekend. You can use music that is pre-made. So if you have a friend who is a composer and you're like, hey, I really like your music and I want to use it in my film, that's cool. You can go ahead and start scouting music that you like. You can use music from Creative Commons websites as long as the license is, for anything, is free, et cetera, and so forth. Kara can probably tell you more about the ins and outs of that. But we of course encourage original music because it's Austin. But it's not required. So music is the one thing you can use that's pre-made. You just have to make sure you have the license for it. And if it's a friend of yours, so it's not, licensed, you need to get a release. For any music, even the Creative Commons, you have to have a release with the information. You won't be able to get a signature, but if you attach the receipt for downloading the information, then that works as a signature. The other thing that you can do ahead of time is location scouting. So, you don't know what you're going to be making. So don't go, okay, I'm going to make a horror film and go for a location that's definitely going to be for a horror film. You want a location that can be, flexible, but you also want a location that's free and legal to use. So you can start scouting locations and get location releases before the weekend, because I know sometimes these places are going to be closed on weekends, and you want to make sure you have permission before you go there. City streets in Austin, it's free to film, but it is somewhere between encouraged and required. I think it's required, but not really, hasn't really been enforced. So at the very least, it is heavily encouraged that you get a permit. So I'm about to put that in the chat. That's the Austin Film Commission website. Brian Gannon is very responsive. He is the Austin
wants to encourage all filmmaking of all types.
Yes. So contact him and say, hey, I want to use a city park. He will help you get the permit for that. Like I said, I believe it is actually required, but it hasn't, to my knowledge, been enforced. So I just found out that it was required recently. So I'm heavily encouraging people, if you're going to use a public facility, public location in Austin, get a permit, and then you can attach that to your location release. So anyway, and it's better to do that beforehand than after, because Brian is, like I said, he's very responsive, but he's a one-man show, and it might be harder to get a hold of him on weekends. So yes.
All right.
Veronica, Victoria. God, my brain is just not working today.
Is there going to be a original music form this time?
We will probably do that. We haven't done it in the recent past, but because there's no place to upload it on Cinema 48, it was a specific to Austin form. I may set it up more as a Google form this year, because I know we've got a lot of great talent, and I really want to give them as much acknowledgement as possible. But it's been one of those things that I couldn't really wrap my head around doing it virtually over the last 2 years. So I'm gonna put that as a to-do on making it so that it's just something you put, because you don't need signatures necessarily. You just need to let people know, hey, this was an original composition. Here's who did it. Here's what it's called, etc. And yeah.
And also,
here's your question.
If one person wrote the music and one person wrote the lyrics, or more than one person did help with some of both and two, you have to list everybody.
Yeah.
First and last names, please, God.
Yes. Okay, Diana, you had another question?
Yeah. So is there any participation fees for this event?
There's a registration fee for the team.
Okay.
And I believe, let me see if I can verify what the fees will be this year. I don't know if they're gonna.
Now, you can't pay anybody to be on your team or to be in your film. Nobody gets paid. All
Okay.
right? There's a
Cool.
registration fee for it, but nobody can get paid. That's part of a level the playing field strategy. We want people of all abilities and skill levels and things like that to be able to have the same chance at telling a good story.
Yeah, we don't want somebody to hire, say, oh, I don't know, Ben Stein, to be in their film as a hook to get the win. If Ben Stein wants to volunteer, more power to him. I think so far our biggest actor has been Martin Freeman. Now, not here in Austin.
That was in 2010 in London.
Yes, it was in London, and he had just found out that he had been cast as the Hobbit, and he still showed up. So that's dedication.
Chopper, the name of the film was called "The Girl Is Mine." Please find it on YouTube. It is worth it. It is genius.
Absolutely.
So, Chopper, you had a question.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute for a second.
Oh yeah. Do we have a date yet for the 48? Is it in July?
We're working on it. It's going to be in June.
Oh, June. Okay. June.
Yeah, June.
Okay.
Our shooting weekend will be in June. Awards will be in July. So,
okay.
Like it normally is for us.
Our official dates are June 10th through the 12th.
Yes.
Oh.
Sorry, that was out loud.
June.
And I'm sorry, I thought we'd announced that, but
I might have missed it. I might have missed it. It's been a chaotic January so far. Yeah.
I saw the note. It's on my calendar. So
June 10th.
and if you can get the day off, especially if you're a team lead and doing all the editing and sound and everything, if you can get Monday off, you will be so thankful.
Let me put it this way. I'm a city producer, not a filmmaker, and I take Monday off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We don't get sleep either that weekend.
We don't get sleep for like 2 weeks leading up to it or the 2 weeks afterwards.
True.
So
last question. Are we going to have a poster contest?
I would love to have a poster contest. I would love, okay, so we're talking with and we haven't signed any documents, so I won't give the name, but we're talking with an organization that may be putting our some spots in theaters around town. And we were discussing the possibility of,
for a small amount of time, but
we were discussing the possibility of trailers. So I really want to encourage people to make those 48-second trailers this year, because we're working on getting more visibility for that.
Now, when you said poster contest, did you want to do a regular one, or did you want to do the special genre? Or is that a yes to both?
I would say yes to both.
Okay.
Well, see, it
was just a
what
question.
what she means about the special genre is that since HQ does not give us a poster for the special genre project, we encourage people to create one for us. And then we have done in the past like an online voting to pick.
I was actually talking about like a movie poster for our show.
Yeah, movie. That's what I thought.
Not for the contest.
Oh, my apologies.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, I think we can encourage that. We just really need people to participate.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I always make one. So
yeah. We can always depend on you. It's just getting other people to do so.
Right.
There's like, you should get other people. Dude, I made one. You should do one so I can beat you.
Yeah, I want to beat you.
So yeah.
Just a
but
question. No, that's fine. If there's not enough, participation, then that's fine.
Yeah. It's something. It's not off the table.
I'm still gonna make one because I enjoy making them.
And that's part of why we love you.
Aw.
Yes.
Here.
It's not off the table right now. I'm gonna say that. So
everything is on the table this year, assuming we can assuming we have the spoons, assuming COVID does not tap our creativity. That's been our biggest problem, is that trying to figure out how to reinvent the wheel over the last 2 years and make things extra special, while at the same time going, okay, we have to keep everybody safe, and it's taken up an awful lot of creative energy trying to transfer it. So if Omicron will leave us the heck alone, then we will be able to put more of our creative energy into making this year better than ever. So that's the plan.
Which again, we're always so grateful to all of our filmmakers. We couldn't do this without y'all.
Absolutely.
And if you didn't participate, we would kind of wilt. No, we love
And
seeing
we
what
also
everybody does.
appreciate the producers as well.
Aw,
I'm not trying to make any brownie points, to win, but
yeah.
if it helps, then
Sadly, we are not judges.
it's
Yeah.
okay.
D, you had a question?
I don't know. I'm still a little bit confused. I have a lot of links. I just opened all of the links to check them out later. And yeah, so you mentioned that the competition will be on June. I thought it's gonna be
Yes.
on January.
No, it's June 10th through 12th.
That's when we have
Okay.
our shooting weekend.
Yes.
Okay. So okay, that's
So we
pretty.
will have monthly events
Mm,
leading up to it.
right.
And hopefully we will have our next one in live. We're really
Mm.
hoping that we can get back to,
In
something.
person. We still want to keep the
And-
virtual
and-
aspect because of the accessibility, and again, having a virtual drop off is just safer for everybody.
Mhm.
But we do want to also include more in-person events.
Right.
And D, just to give you sorry, Diana,
Oh, no, go
just to
ahead.
give you an idea of the way everything works, like you'll get the genre and everything Friday, which would be June
Mhm.
10th, and then you'll write the script to it Friday, Friday night, and then you get everything organized at the same time, and then you usually start shooting the next day, depending on when you can get your actors together, 8 or 10 in the morning. I actually did one where I started filming at 4 p.m. and I ended at 10 p.m. And so if you're like pretty organized and you've done your scouting, then you can get it done. But that's usually what happens. And for me, it was usually from like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. was kind of where you kind of figure out your shooting. And then
Alright.
you start doing your editing Saturday night.
Mhm.
And then you wake up early Sunday morning because you got to get a nap because if not, you're going to be delusional. That's what happened to me a couple times. I started to hallucinate. I started to see things that weren't there. And so you do the editing
It's not
Sunday
appearing.
morning and the music, and then you submit everything by 7 p.m. on Sunday.
All right.
Something like that.
If you have
Yeah.
a separate editor, we recommend sending your footage to the
Mhm.
editor as you go, so they can start, trimming
Right.
things down a bit.
Yeah.
No, I am the editor. I do.
Yeah.
I do
I think
everything.
Chopper is his own editor too, so.
Yeah, I
don't
usually do the
trust
writing,
anyone.
the editing, the shooting, and everything.
Yeah, me too.
So
Until now, I'm still learning. So, what about the duration of the film itself? How many minutes?
No
4
less
to
than
7.
4, no more than 7, and you get 1 minute of credits after everything.
Yep.
That's it. Those rules are firm.
Mhm.
It has made us
Okay.
sad. We have had to disqualify people before for going over or under.
Oh, okay. So it's basically a short movie.
Right. Right.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
Film Freeway considers those to be micro shorts.
Micro. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And
Cool.
be really careful with the line of dialogue, because if there's a way to say it, there's usually an alternate way to say it, and only those ways are allowed. If you do anything else to it, you could be disqualified. In fact, people
And-
have been disqualified.
if I
Chopper
can
is a
talk to that
saint.
point, if I can talk to that point, our team actually won the whole event one year, but we got the line of dialogue wrong. We forgot one word. We missed it by a bit.
And
if
that
you will.
was that goof was entirely on me.
No, it was on me. It was on me. It was
but
not on you.
announcing the winner before I
Yeah.
thought I had reviewed them all,
Yeah.
and then someone else pointed out, I was like, did they get the line wrong? And I'm like, what, did they? And I went back and I'm like, oh crap, they sure did.
Yeah, no, but that was on me because I was the one in charge of the team, and we missed it. Honestly, it wasn't until y'all did the premiere and we started to look at everyone's line. It's like, wait a minute, they got that wrong. It's like, oh, wait a minute, we're the ones that got it wrong.
And thank you for being so gracious about the whole process. We really
Absolutely.
No,
appreciate
it's
it.
Chopper, you're a saint.
it's all good. It's all good.
No.
I really enjoyed working making the film, so it's all good.
That's
It was
part of
on me.
what
It was on me. It really was. It wasn't on you guys.
And
I
it's really-
apologize.
And it's so easy to just mess up. It's so easy to mess up that line sometimes. And just like you have a person who's like keeping track of the paperwork, if you like point to a couple people and say, double check, make sure we say the line right. Whoever's not in the scene, make sure they know the line so they can listen for it and hear it and make sure it's right. So if it's wrong, you can catch it right then. So having people looking for that is always a good thing too.
So speaking of the elements, I'm sorry, Gary, I interrupted you.
I was just going to say, this is just like the filming of Congo, in which no actor was allowed to change anything in the screenplay at all because it was written by a famous playwright.
Good point. Good point. I was going to say it can't hurt to record your actor reading the line from the piece of paper, just so you get the audio on there. If you have to in post, you can always paste it over.
Speaking of the elements,
Yes.
when they are in there, please make it obvious what they are, such as the prop. Don't let us get out a microscope and a Ouija board to determine, is that the prop? Did they use it there? So
The easier you make it on us, the not only the more do we appreciate it, but the judges are also looking for the prop.
What are the props like, and the character too? Like what's a typical thing in the past that's been what the prop is and what the character is?
We've had breakfast tacos, we've had medication, nail clippers, a turkey baster.
That
Which
one nearly gave me nightmares.
Oh yeah, I think Eileen actually gave us explicit instructions about what the turkey baster could not be used.
Yes, I had to explain. There, nothing pornographic, please.
It should be used in a scene to show people delivering a nice morning turkey to someone.
Fortunately, nobody pushed the line on that. And the reason I had made that warning was because when the prop was a fingernail clipper, there were several films that used it as a roach clip, which, there's nothing wrong with that. They weren't disqualified. It's just, I'm sitting here going, oh God, someone's going to take one look at this turkey baster and go, please don't.
Well, we are not like rated G.
No, we're not
closer to
G.
rated R than anything else. And so we just want to keep it that.
Yeah.
R
R rating is okay. X rating, bad. NR rating, bad.
is right out.
So what about character? What kind of character has been in the past that's been required?
Okay, so we've had an expectant parent,
A cosplayer, an explorer, an
mhm.
author.
We had
mechanic.
a rebel. We had a rebel one year. Just so-and-so, a rebel.
A doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be really creative with your interpretations of these. One guy said in one kit group, he was like, I'm the doctor of rhythm. That went by. That was fine. One year.
The year that we had an explorer, the winning film was a silent film, and they had a doctor come in and look inside the main character's mouth to find out why she couldn't sing, and using a tongue depressor and this sort of thing. And he was wearing a name tag, so it was obvious, okay, that was the character. But we had a few people going, was that really an explorer? I'm like, technically he was exploring her tonsils, so and the judges liked it on many other points. So it wasn't the best use of character, but it still won based on so many other points. So yeah, it was good enough to be eligible. And yeah.
I would say if you're going to be creative with your interpretation of the occupation, kind of be really shove it in our face if that's what you think.
Yeah. You
I'm
don't
not
have
saying
to say the character's name.
Yeah. And I'm not saying be awkward about putting it in there, making it an awkward shot or an awkward line of dialogue.
Right.
What I am saying is if you're going to be creative with your interpretation of certain things, use the way you're shooting it to make it obvious in a good way.
If it's going to be subtle, then that's when a name tag helps.
Yeah.
Something that says, hey, yeah, this is the character.
Mhm.
And then you can be creative all you want. we had one year, we had my first year, which was the expectant parent. The character in the winning film was a pregnant turtle. And then another year, the team turned their iPhone into an AI character. That one I almost got in trouble over because people were saying, well, you didn't see the person online, and I had to get HQ to go, yeah, okay, we'll allow it. And I think that's one of the reasons why later on they were like, okay, as long as you see a picture of the character, then it's okay. But because we also had somebody who literally phoned in their character that year, and they were disqualified. But this AI character,
They left a voicemail. They didn't really interact on screen.
Right. They literally phoned it in. The AI character, even though it was a cell phone, it was an integral part of the story.
And it was
So
interactive, and
it was
So
hard.
I have to ask,
how did
the pregnant turtle interact with the story?
Pregnant Turtle drove the whole plot.
Yeah, that was really a great film because that year our prop was a bucket. And as soon as they found out, they decided they were going to get 2 buckets and cut a hole in the bottom of one. And they filmed out of the bucket. So throughout the film, people are talking to the bucket, looking in the bucket, referring to the bucket. People are reacting to what's in the bucket. You don't see what's in the bucket. And it was a road trip movie. They go to a beach, and then at the very end, they're talking to this bucket, and they're like, okay, it's your time. And they lay the bucket down, and the turtle crawls out. And then you see the little divot where eggs are, and they weren't turtle eggs. They used chicken eggs, but who cares? Anyway, so the whole idea was that this was a pregnant turtle that needed to return to her beach to lay her eggs. And but the entire time you're on the edge of your seat going, what the hell is in that bucket? Because people like to make a horror film out of everything. And I'd already seen several that had taken another genre and turned it into a horror film. So I was scared to death of what was going to jump out of that bucket. And at the end, it was just a cute little turtle.
Yeah.
The story was called Oviparous. If you want to look it up, it might still be on YouTube somewhere.
And we should have past winners on our website somewhere.
I think it only goes back, the films on the website only go back a few years.
Oh, okay. It should be on YouTube though.
Yeah.
So by the way, hi Frank.
Hi.
So good to see you. This is Frank of Team El Guapo.
He is the lead of Team El Guapo, so he and Victoria are on the same team. Did you hear we have our official dates?
Yep, got it. Told my team already.
Sweet.
They're excited.
Awesome.
Yay!
Like, all right, say the date, ask for time off, stretch, do whatever you need to appropriately. Just get yourself situated.
There you go.
Working computer, working software,
Backup.
Everything updated,
lots of batteries.
batteries, charge up everything.
Yeah.
Get the little one up here, get her ready to go.
She wasn't able to participate last year, was she? Or was it
not
last genre?
Not at the 4 points.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, was it? I don't think she was able to. I'm trying to remember. She didn't do the horror comedy one. No.
Yeah.
But she did 2 others, so she was really happy about that. Still talks about them.
Okay, so she did do the 4 points?
No, no, she did not.
Okay.
That was just me, Marla, and David.
Yeah.
Over at in Seguin. That was nice. That was fun.
Cool.
It was a really cute location.
I still want you and David to get your 2 little proteges together.
Yeah.
The next generation.
Yes. She really digs it. She's talking about bringing up either her cousin who's about her age or maybe a friend or 2 next time.
Nice.
Just because she's got little friends who are interested in just creating things.
Yeah.
And when she tells them about it, she shows them the clips on YouTube of her not just acting, but she was like, okay, all that sound, that was me. I recorded those things. I was there on the boom pole.
Yeah.
And I was setting up like on the quest where she was helping set up the green screen and just kind of working things on that. She loved that stuff. So she's telling her friends about those things, and they're getting into it. So
if she does that again this year, I want behind the scenes video and pictures.
Yes.
okay, I will try. Again, usually I'm in the.
I just
under the eye
ask
of
you
the
to try
hurricane.
is all I ask. Okay.
I'll see if I can get somebody else on site or on set to do some of that. My sister, doesn't show up because she was. She came to one time and she's like, okay, you guys are moving around like crack fiends. It's like, well, yeah, that's what we got to do. Just moving and just kind of getting stuff done, getting stuff situated. It's like, you guys are talking. I don't understand what you're saying. It's like, well, we do. So, just do this. You don't have to. Just once you get in it, you learn the shorthand after a bit and you get to be a part of it. Telling the little one what to do. She's just kind of, okay, over here. She's doing everything she needs to do. She understands. So my sister and sister-in-law, for one of them, where they were both on set and they helped her get dressed. They were just, they were marveling at just the busyness that was going on, and were just amused at the whole process. This is how you do it. It's like, yeah, this is how you make them look. So they dig it. The little one digs it, and most of the team seems to be ready to go, including a couple of folks who are going to come back who weren't able to participate this last year. So Team Wap was ready to go. They're ready to go now. It's just February, so we got 5 months of preparedness.
There you go. Awesome.
So you can't pay people to be in anything, but can you pay for other stuff? Like if you were going to use, say, peer space for a location or something, is that allowed?
Absolutely. You just need to be careful. You can pay to rent equipment, costumes, props, locations, that sort of thing. However, if you do need to be a little careful with that. And here's what I mean. Let's say this camera guy has equipment and he wants to use it, but he's going to charge you to use it. You are paying to rent his equipment, but you can't pay him. And you need to make that very clear in paperwork, because that can get fuzzy real quick. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you can pay for other stuff, just not people. You can pay for food, but you can't pay for people.
Right.
Like if someone's going to cater it, you can't pay them, but you can pay for the food that they use. So
I guess technically, if they wanted to add a service fee or something, that might be acceptable.
I would not toe that line.
But it would have to be written into the contract that it was a fee for the product, not the person.
So that's why we say to be careful with that, but paying locations, paying for like transport, paying for equipment, paying for costumes and props,
right?
That's fine.
What the service pays their people after the fact, that's between them and their people. And the only reason I bring this up is because I don't want someone saying, well, I was told afterwards that this person was paid $10 an hour to be on our set or to be on this other person's set, so they're disqualified. If the service is paying for something, that's up to the service. But as long as you're just paying for the product, that's why it has to be specified that what you're paying for is the product. If they take out of that to pay a person, that's on them. Because otherwise you wind up with a lot of people. I get a lot of calls every year from people who are trying to get someone disqualified, and we can't control every aspect. All we can control is what's taking place within the filmmaking experience. So what happens behind the scenes and after the fact with whoever it is you have hired, or not hired, but paid to give you this product, what they do, that's their contract. Contracts can get very confusing sometimes. There's layers. So all we're concerned about is the people who are involved in our filmmaking experience, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Does that sound about right, Kara?
Yes, it does sound about right. Again, I would err on the side of caution.
Of course, of course.
So, any other questions? And yes, the answer
In
is
that
42
vein-
to probably one of them.
In that vein, music licensing. So if you're going to use with the service like Pond 5 or Premium Beat or Audio Network or any of that, is there any minimum licensing level for this? Because they have some that are corporate, television, so on and so forth. There's like a creator level, which is just for nonprofit stuff. Is there any guidance on what level of license that you would be looking for?
A little
if
bit. I'm
paperwork
going to
was-
pull the exact phrasing from our website. 1 second. But you can pay for music. Where is? Oh, good gracious me! Give me 1 second.
And while she's pulling that up, I'm going to put a pin in here to just mention to the new people that you can't publicly show your film until after it has been premiered.
Yes.
So
Even if it's ineligible for judging, even if it comes in late, do not post it online until after the premiere. Otherwise, we lose the rights to show it.
Otherwise, Elaine shows up to your house and you really don't want that.
And here's what people don't understand. The registration fees, Kara and I never see them. They do not come to us. They go directly to the headquarters to pay for servers, pay for the website, pay for ads, pay for Filmapalooza. The top films from Filmapalooza go directly to Cannes. They pay for that experience as well. So that money is all going to the umbrella organization that is running the back end. What Kara and I get financially is solely from ticket sales. Now that may be from events, but mostly it's from the screenings and the awards. And even the awards, we have to share a portion of the profits with HQ. But we pay for next year on ticket sales. And I've seen people post about their films and say, hey, it's really great, but don't worry about buying a ticket. I'll post it on YouTube after the premiere. Well, that hurts us a lot. We're not getting rich off of this. We do this because we love it. We believe in it. It's fun. But we're hoping someday we can figure out how to make some, decent, not big money, but decent money. But there's still a lot we're learning about how to do that. We're not a nonprofit organization.
Which makes it a lot more difficult to get people to partner with us.
Exactly.
So we say.
Exactly. So
yeah, we're not a nonprofit, but we play one on TV.
we're learning the ropes of fiscal sponsorship. We're trying to, that's our angle.
And get some
The next
grants.
year or so is learning how to get local fiscal sponsors.
Back to the music license. I don't know about anything else. What we do have on our website is regarding Creative Commons, which will hopefully answer your question. We can use Creative Commons music or materials that are attribution only. If Creative Commons license is either non-commercial or share alike, it's not compatible with the 48-hour film project's team leaders agreement and therefore cannot be used. So the team leaders agreement is one of the documents that's available on the website, and you can download it at any time and take a look at it. If you have a question, you could also contact, especially at this early time, the music website, the company thing that you buy the music from, and double check with them as well.
Yeah, Creative Commons I don't think would be much of a thing for Pond 5 or Premium Beat or something like that.
So normally it's if you document, if it's public domain or royalty free, we need a copy of the license. If you buy the music, we need a copy of the receipt and license. That's about all I know. If you plan to use it for any commercial purpose, Since we sell tickets that might be classified as commercial purposes, I'm not sure. So I would contact the website that you're buying the music from.
I think that's what I'll do. I'll just reach out to them and see what they recommend.
Let us know what they say.
Yeah.
And if they want to reach out, give them our email. And
Thank you for joining us, Dee. I just posted the website link in the chat. And there are links there to the production documents, the various rules and that sort of thing. So I hope to see you this June. I can't wait to see what you create.
thank you, Dee. It was such a great pleasure to meet you.
It was awesome. I look forward to seeing you.
Anybody else have any questions? Questions? Bueller?
I'm going to throw it one more thing in. I feel like I know almost as much as you guys, but I honestly
You probably do.
I don't. I was going to say to Gary and Dee, if she hasn't actually gone yet, that even though you can't show your film before the premiere, afterwards, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, afterwards, you can submit it to other film festivals. And that is an awesome way to get an IMDb credit, Frank.
I will say there is a
Waiting for
time
my
frame.
next IMDb.
There's still a
I've got to
time
just,
frame.
yeah, I've just got to quit BSing and get myself a pro license on IMDb. I've got like 5 credits that I got to pull together. May as well kind of get those in there so that I can start building things for everybody else. That's something I've just been letting slip for entirely too long. My apologies.
I'm
I'll get it done.
planning to do the same thing because I want to be able to verify when someone has won a best actor, best actress, what have you. So that's on my to-do list this year, is to get a pro membership. And because I think I've got like 3 or 4 profiles out there I need to put together.
Got
Now
3.
I will.
That's the biggest complaint. I'm constantly having to email people and be like, please merge this with my actual IMDb credits.
Now I will say there is a time frame, especially if they're an award winner, where they have to wait before they start doing that.
Yeah.
That is also on our website because I do not know it off the top of my head.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been working with the IMDb for a while, and I just put my link on there. But I've been putting all the nominations and all the wins from all the different events. So
Thank you.
It's a pain in the butt though, to try to get all that done. And kind of to what V was saying earlier, is I took one that I did for San Antonio and I entered it into a film festival, and I was able to get some IMDb credit from that because we got a little, credit for it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go, and it's kind of neat, like I said, I have all the awards and stuff like that, so listed on there, and it is a process to do that. But once somebody sets it up, then other people can come in and just pick that event for your awards. But just FYI.
Cool.
San Antonio Film Festival is so quaint. The last time I had a film in there, they were just like, are you a filmmaker? And I was like, yes. And they just handed me a badge. They didn't require any verification at all.
Nice.
Welcome to it.
Oh, so, well, if that's all the questions anyone has, I guess I'll wrap things up. But if, by all means, if you have more questions.
I have one real quick,
Okay.
which I probably even shouldn't bring up, but
Oh, go for it.
if we were to use like a drone, do you need to
Mhm.
have a Part 107 license in order for that footage?
That has never been brought
Can you
up.
tell me the name of that license one more time?
It's a Part 107 drone license. It just allows you to fly commercially.
The operator.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, I have one. I have one. So I'm a licensed pilot. That's what I tell my wife. It's like, hey, you're married to a pilot. It never works.
I don't think I've seen that in any of the footage in any of the movies that have used drones yet. And we got a lot of drone footage and a whole bunch of 48s over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
That's never come up, so I'm guessing not. It's never been a requirement to provide the license.
Right.
I believe the license is primarily for you to have on hand if you get asked on location when you're in the middle of actually shooting with a drone.
Right, and I guess my thing is that if your film gets selected and you make money off of it, then that's a criteria for the Part 107 for the footage.
Okay, according to the FAA website, and I'm going to link this. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. You do not need a waiver to fly a drone following Part 107 rules. You
Right.
do need a waiver when you want to operate a drone contrary to the rules in Part 107 under the waivable options below. They include flying it in a small UAS from a moving aircraft or a vehicle. There's flying it at night without anti-collision lighting. There's periods of civil twilight with without anti-collision lighting.
I believe
The whole
this is
list
in
here.
case you want, this is if you have Part 107 and you want to do something that Part 107 does not allow.
Right. It was just a question I've always had because I've always been hesitant to fly the drone if I didn't have my license. But I didn't know how that worked for the 48.
Basically, what happens is if you violate it, the FAA could come after you, but they're pretty much toothless.
Well, I don't know about that.
unless you do something that puts you on the news.
Yeah. Well, I heard like during the pandemic, they were actually going after people on YouTube. So, because they didn't have anything else to do, I guess. Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I've heard. So, but
I wouldn't necessarily worry about it unless, again, you're doing something weird or loud or it was in a very public place that can cause a problem.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I come down to like they're saying right there at the time of the event is when you're worried. I've got a couple of friends who were also drone operators, and that was what they were counseling when they were getting their train, like you probably did.
Right.
Just like have this handy if you bust your drone out and you're out there doing some shooting. Make sure you know the local laws in the area, where you're shooting, so you don't do anything like line of sight, helicopters, power meters, cops.
Yeah, no, I mean, I did that for Candlelight. The other one, I actually had to get permission from the tower to fly it. Because I was within within 5 miles of the airport zone. So yeah. But no, I was just kind of curious how that worked. Anyway, just a thought.
I have no idea.
I think that for the purposes of the 48, it's just another camera. I wouldn't think that we would necessarily need anything specific saying that how we got it.
Right.
As long as you're willing to certify the footage was gotten during that weekend, that's it.
No, I mean it's just a question. I'm not trying to open up a can of worms. I was just kind of like.
No, it's a good question. It's a good question. As far as I know, it's never been required to show your license. That could change in the future as more drone footage is used. They may wind up, requiring that. But as of right now, they do not.
Okay.
If that does change, we will tell you ASAP.
Yes.
We promise.
Yes.
Totally want a drone. God. Mavic or Phantom 4? Heck yeah.
That was it.
I'm still hoping one of these days I can get a group of Austin 48 filmmakers to do something like the CC7D or some completely unrelated to the 48 film.
The Corpus Christi thing.
Yeah, just so I can show off and go, hey, look what we can do.
Talk family down again. My family's down there, so I've kind of put it out there, and I've gotten some tepid responses from cousins who are interested and intrigued, but not sure that they can devote a whole week.
Yeah. I've got some friends down there that are Dawn Robertson, who got me involved in the 48 in Houston. She lives down there and she's part of an improv group. So a few improv groups, I think. So there's always that resource as a possibility. I know Marla's got some teammates that live near Corpus as well. And I had talked about meeting the Atlanta city producer in New Orleans at some point, just to do for fun, because we'd be completely ineligible for judging, but just for fun doing a 48 there. But unfortunately last year they had their dates on the same weekend. So I'm gonna have to see what dates they have this year and see if
Not
that's.
sure there'd be a lot of shooting going on if hanging out in New Orleans. Just hand grenading ourselves into oblivion. It'd be bad.
Basically, I just want a reason to go back to New Orleans. That's all.
Like you need a reason.
You
Show up
gotta
on a
eat, don't
Tuesday and go
you?
to
That's
town.
why you want to go to New Orleans.
I want a reason I can take off my taxes.
Ah, okay, yes, I get that.
Tax
you go.
deductible reason.
Research.
So, yes, absolutely. Networking.
Yes,
And-
I had a shoot in New Orleans where I got paid to be there, so I highly recommend it if you ever get the opportunity.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
That would be so much fun. Okay, any other questions? Happy to answer. Well, we've had a
Actually-
lot of really good questions so far.
I have to say goodnight.
Okay.
It was so great seeing y'all and talking with all of y'all. Thank you again so much for being part of the community and welcoming me in like y'all have done.
Yay.
Thank
Bye,
you for being here,
Kara.
Kara.
Love to see you. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Good night. All right. Well, if nothing else, I'm going to end the live stream. And so if you're watching on YouTube, well, let me double check real quick before I do this and make sure we didn't have any other questions. Oh, okay. Someone named Scadian for Life is saying howdy from Aggieland. I don't know who you are, but thank you so much for watching and showing your support. Really appreciate it. I'm not a creator, but I do watch what I can. Thank you so much. And why aren't you a creator? You can do it. Why not? Anyway. Okay, so but thank you very much. And I'm going to stop the stream. So good night. No, not end meeting for all.